Another day, another Last of Us 2 leak video. Now this time we have one from 4chan. Now unlike the last two videos where the plot leaks were really good to the point where you would actually believe them because they were making so much sense, here the reason I am discussing these leaks from the 4chan quote-unquote leaks, is because they may not seem that strong, but some of them really stand out, and I'm gonna talk about it at the end of the video. Again, Muso, this video contains no audio, no gameplay, no cutscenes, no screenshots, none of that good stuff. Anything we're discussing are completely rumors and speculations. Could be rumors and speculations, could end up being true, but do we know? We haven't played the game. You said it yourself, Sony. The game isn't out yet. How are we supposed to know anything about it, right? So without wasting any more time, let us begin. We have this Last of Us new plot. Alright, Ellie begins to exhibit increasing signs of PTSD, suffering from nightmares and vivid hallucinations. Now, I know this sounds crazy, stick with me. There are some genuine stuff in there that I need to talk about with you guys, okay? Just stick with me. Which she admits to DINA, she cannot always separate from reality. The camp is compromised, and the three escape by boat to a house near the bay. On a run to gather supplies, she confronts Nora and Manny Frickim, who are now outcasts. Ellie savagely beats Manny to death. Good for him. That was actually confirmed in a story trailer, by the way, but spares Nora's life. Ellie spots the remaining group of Seraphites with the imprisoned Abby. Disguising herself as a Seraphite, Ellie lures a horde of infected as a distraction and infiltrates the compound in the chaos, freeing Abby to escape. Ellie tracks Abby to a farmhouse where she intends to ambush her and live. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but there's actually some truth to it. Ellie returns to the safe house where DINA expects her to make the rendezvous with Tommy and return to Jackson with them. She tells DINA of her plan to kill Abby. To DINA's dismay, Ellie confesses her mental state and inability to cope in the way DINA has. We've actually seen that in the leaks. DINA states that her family must be more important than exacting revenge for herself and Tommy. Ellie travels to the farmhouse, avoiding detection and the growing infected horde under the cover of night. This reminds me of episode 4 of The Walking Dead. Clementine, if y'all played that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But finds the security measures already triggered and the house abandoned. What did you expect? Furious that she allowed Abby to follow Jaden and the Seraphites into California, Ellie returns to the safe house. Now, I know it makes no sense, but trust me and stick with me. She is surprised to find Tommy, who is preparing to escort DINA and the baby back to Jackson, so they were talking about baby in the first place. He pleads with her to return with them, stating that endlessly hunting Abby will never provide her relief. Ellie eventually agrees, and the group departs for Jackson on horseback. Now, this is actually confirmed in the story trailer, so it's alright. In a pivotal flashback from the night prior, Abby and Lev are in fact residing on the farm. They hear an explosion and investigate but find nothing. Upon return, Abby finds Tommy waiting in the house with a shotgun, having set off their tripwires as a diversion. He states, that Joel's death haunts him, and asks, if it haunts her too. Abby replies that it does. Of course she's gonna say, there's a man literally with a shotgun ready to kill you after what you've done with his brother. Man, she laments the consequences and confides her deteriorating health and inability to match the level of violence much longer. She asks Tommy, this could be controversial for people who are already mad and upset with Abby. Personally, for me, DINA and Ellie's story, I don't care who they are, what they do, as long as Ellie's happy. For Abby, it's a big problem. Not about the character being whatever she is and being buffed and all that, but there's another problem, 30% problem, that we'll discuss someday later. But anyways, she asks Tommy for a reprieve so that she may die fighting the remaining Seraphites, stating her desire to die with her dignity and not her dishonor. Dishonor? You want to die with dignity after what you've did? Man, and her wish to meet her father if there is an afterlife. You know what, Abby? Your father got exactly what he deserved. Do you see that kind of stuff in The Walking Dead? Of course you don't. It's a world where everyone is infected. People are clinging to anything they could to just survive, let alone find supplies. And talking about some dignity and honor, seeing her physical state and aware of Jaden's threat to their security, Tommy reluctantly agrees. He warns her never to return to the region and departs. Now, the viewpoint switches to Abby. An unspecified amount of time later, she and Lev locate Jaden and the remaining Seraphites in the Los Padres forest in California. Along with the other wolves' defects, they launch a nighttime assault on the compound. Abby locates and kills Jaden with the assistance of Lev, but is fatally wounded in the process. Succumbing to her injuries, she thanks Lev for saving saving her life and asks for forgiveness over Yara's death. Abby dies and Lev wraps her body in the blanket her father had given. Okay, y'all wait. No. We need to pause right here, okay, before we continue. A lot of stuff just happened. First of all, there was a quick assault on the compound. Jaden got bodied with the assistance of Lev, but Abby herself got so badly injured that she asks for Yara's death's forgiveness and dies. Now that's bullcrap, alright, I can't confirm that. However, it's very interesting to see one thing, that the major leaks, like after the gameplay leaks, every leaker who's come forth associating themselves with Naughty Dog has stated a very specific, detailed story about what they've played. Now, the first leaker said that the playtesters are divided and given specific parts, so not everyone played it in the entire game. So anyone who's coming forth with the story and plot is most likely to tell their version of the part they've played and then just fill in the blanks of what they think happened. Some people got the beginning part, some people got the middle part, and some people got the ending part. So, which I'm gonna explain more at the end of this video, but Abby dying like that? No, thank you. The blanket that her father had given to her and places the Firefly medallion in her hands before burying her in a river, fulfilling the vision she had described to Owen. Now, of course, you could say that they're talking about the flashback or pivotal dream or whatever, that this is the entire dream and this is the entire flashback that they're seeing, because that's how it had started, which could make a lot of sense, to be fair, talking about Owen. He's gonna be an important character, an interesting one for sure. But back in Jackson, Ellie and Tommy ride on horseback to Joel's grave. On the ride back, she questions him about Joel's previous actions. He answers without revealing any details of Joel's lie regarding the Fireflies and the cure, and she replies it no longer matters, as she has a responsibility to her family now. Ellie returns to the ranch home where she is living with DINA and the baby. She convinces DINA that she is at peace, building a life in Jackson, and that her guilt over Joel and Jesse's death no longer consume her as they did once. In a final flashback continued from the prologue, Joel is teaching a young Ellie on the guitar as they sit on the porch. Ellie states that she worries that the tranquil life cannot last and asks how he copes with the actions they may have to take. Joel recounts a story from before the outbreak in which Sarah had given some money to a vagabond in town against his wishes. He states that the story is of little significance, but that he wishes to live up to the expectations of Sarah's innocence. Ellie wonders aloud if she could do the same, to which Joel replies, matter of fact, that she has, and that he regrets his earlier statement to her that she was not his daughter. Ooh, y'all remember back in the first game? Oh, it's giving me chills. I can't with them emotions. Again, another important thing that we'll come to later. Joel plays the guitar as Ellie sings the song over the closeout and credit. Now, a lot of it seems bullcrap, and it is, to be fair. However, there's some truth to it. Now, I would like to bring you back to one of my previous videos and earlier videos where I talked about how this supposed person basically going around telling people that the testers are divided into groups and not everyone is able to play the entire full game, which makes a lot of sense actually. And these half-arsed stories and plot leaks coming forth, it actually makes a lot of sense. And if we combine all these plot leaks, there's a consistent theme, regardless of which leak is true, but there's a consistent theme that goes with the leaks, the gameplay, and the story trailer that we have seen. All of these leaks have few points in common. I have written here for myself, so y'all know what I'm talking about. The flashbacks. So we know for a fact that every Joel scene after that no from the basement scene is Ghost Joel. I like to call him Ghost Joel. A part of her imagination sees Joel in physical, but he's actually not there. Either way, flashbacks are included, but different for each testers. Like previous leak claimed that the swimming flashback is gonna be last. Here, they're claiming that the guitar one is the last, where the first playtester actually said the guitar one is the first flashback. So either Naughty Dog are giving a limited story version to each testers, and after that they play the credits, so that if they were to leak the story, this is what they're gonna do basically. That's number one, and that kind of confirms the story trailer as well. Number two, Ellie hunting Abby instead of otherwise is also being the similar in all of these leaks. So one can say that the first leaks off 4chan, or the first wave of leaks, were technically false for the ending, at least about Abby going to Ellie in the end to get revenge. For all we know, according to the gameplay, post Joel's golf club session, Abby was done with Ellie, DINA, Jesse, and Tommy. After all, they let them escape. So one thing is for sure, the ending is revolving more around Ellie going for Abby rather than, oh, Abby continues cycle of violence. It's more of cycle of revenge at this point. Also, all these leaks have one thing in common that I find really interesting is Tommy and his portrayal. He's opened till the end in all of these leaks. I don't believe about Abby versus Tommy again, but I can see Abby becoming a bit light post club session. Who knows? But this one was genuinely liking so much that it's funny at this point. But my god, if this happened, I mean, I know what they're going for, but this one, yeah, I don't know about that one. What's also common in all of them is Ellie and DINA breakup, then regroup, and the child. This has been a very consistent theme for every story out there, which makes me believe that DINA is being set up for the third game, just like Tommy for The Last of Us Part 3. Now, does that mean DINA is gonna be alive? Who knows? Her child is gonna be alive? Who knows? But this is a very consistent theme that we've seen in the gameplay leaks, in the first 4chan, and the first wave of leaks, and then the previous 2 leaks that we got from supposed playtesters, and then this 4chan thread. So there you go. Also, all these leaks confirms one thing that story trailer confirmed recently, that Abby's group, including Manny, Freakim, Owen, Mel, all of them are going to die. They're like dead. We seen yesterday in the story trailer how Ellie basically ambushed Abby's facility and just bodying everyone she sees, which would be so satisfying to do slowly. However, Lev in all of this, including Abby, will be in the final play. In nearly all the leaks we've seen, Abby's with Lev. And yesterday leak we talked about Lev and Abby, and Lev being the sole survivor. Here, Lev with Abby being the sole survivor. And in the first Lev was till the end. So is there a chance they're setting Lev 2 for something big at the end? Who knows, boys? The story of Ghost Joel post-death and Ellie in her imagination, separate from reality, where she accepts that Joel seeing her as his daughter, a purpose after Sarah, and Ellie wanting to do better for Joel, knowing that he lost his daughter like that, and then in her head thinking that, was I good enough? Did I did everything right for Joel? Doesn't matter if he lied to me or not. The man did so much for me. Man, even in all this mess, their story makes me so emotional. Even if it's just text, whenever I see, hear, or read their stuff, it's so emotional. That's how massive of an impact the first game threw at everyone, including myself. And unlike some of you who came in like at 2016, 2017 to join the franchise, I've been waiting for 7 long years. So all of this mess affects me more, just like the other players who've been waiting for 7 years. So don't say that I've been changing my mind or anything like that. I still hate many parts of the story, but that doesn't mean I hate the franchise, mainly because of how it impacted me in so many ways. The point is, there are some other stuff we need to talk about. We need to talk about the ending, Abby problem, and so much more. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the flip side.